What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Sunday edition of The Squeeze. I am your host, Tyler Conium. It's Pro Bowl Sunday. It's the last day without the NHL. The NHL is back tomorrow, thank goodness. But let's talk about the NBA. It was an interesting night last night. We did go 2-2. I know I only did 3 bets on the video, but I did make the Milwaukee Bucks -5 an official bet on my Twitter. So I always say in these videos and on these podcasts, follow me on Twitter. I will make official plays, etc., with some breakdown on there. We went 2-2, and it very well could have, if not should have been, a 4-0 night. We had the Lakers on the money line. They were up by 12. They blew that game late. We had the Wizards on the money line. They were up 23 points in the third quarter. They blew that game to the Nets, who were without Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Kyrie Irving, and they lost that game. So it ended up being a little bit tough. It was a 1-2 day on the video, but 2-2 if you include the Bucks. We did hit some props as well with Anthony Davis. Going over on the points. We hit some college basketball plays as well. But 2-2 is a completely flat day, so it is what it is. As we roll into Sunday, like I said, the NHL is back tomorrow, and thank goodness. It's getting difficult to bet the NBA each and every day, but we persevere, and we do that today. Starting in Memphis, we've got an old school Canadian matchup of the Raptors versus the Grizzlies, sort of. It's the Toronto Raptors versus the Memphis Grizzlies. I like the Memphis Grizzlies. I made this pick last night at -4.5. I believe it's actually gone to 3.5, but I like the Memphis Grizzlies to cover. I got this at -4.5 for -105 at BetMGM. The Grizzlies are 32-20, and they're 21-4 at home. The Raptors are 24-30, 9-18 on the road. I don't know how this spread is only 3.5 to 4.5 points. It says on the injury report that Ja Morant is questionable with a wrist injury. He's expected to play. He played in the last game. Yes, Brooks is out because of suspension, but the Raptors are without OG Anunoby as well. The Raptors are just trying to get to the trade deadline at this point. It's a lost season. They're several games. What are they? They're 6 games under 500. They're struggling. I don't think this team is going to look the same in a few days. The trade deadline is coming up in 4 days. Memphis is coming off back-to-back losses against Portland and Cleveland. I look for them to get right here today. They have actually struggled. Excuse me. First time for that. They're 3-7 in their last 10 basketball games. Toronto is a good team to get right against. Toronto is 4-6 in their last 10. ATS, the Grizzlies are 24-27. The Raptors 26-28, so neither of them are all that great. But the fact of the matter is the Raptors are 0-4 in their last 4. ATS playing on 4 days rest. And the Raptors have traditionally played well in Memphis, but we're looking back to, sort of the championship runs. Raptors are in a bad spot. Their offense is ranked 27th. Their defense hasn't been great. I don't know what's going on with the chemistry there. I like the Memphis Grizzlies -4.5 for -105 at BetMGM. Moving to another line that has moved quite a bit, I've got the Philadelphia 76ers at the New York Knicks. I took Philly last night at -6. It's now -4.5, so if you can jump on that, do that. That's -110 at FanDuel. There is a question mark whether or not Joel Embiid will play. He's been on the injury report the last 5 games. He's played in all 5, and he's averaging over 30 points, so I'll take it. I like the Sixers -6. Here on the road in New York. Philadelphia is 30-21 ATS this season, and they're 14-9 on the road. The Knicks 27-25 ATS, but I mentioned this the last time I bet against the Knicks. They are better on the road. They're 15-11 on the road and only 13-15 at home. Philadelphia has played great. They're 9-1 in their last 10 basketball games. The New York Knicks, they've been playing not so great. They're 4-6 in their last 10. Philly is 7-1 ATS in their last 8 Sunday games, 4-0 ATS in their last 4 road games. The New York Knicks are 0-8 ATS in their last 8 games versus a team with a road winning percentage over 60%, which Philly is. The Knicks are 1-7 ATS in their last 8 when their opponent allows 100 or more points in their previous game. Philadelphia is 3-1-1 ATS in their last 5 meetings. Mitchell Robinson is out with the injury for the Knicks. I like the Philadelphia 76ers. They're just playing great basketball. They're covering spreads. They're doing it all. I like the Sixers -6 for -110 at FanDuel. And the last one we have here is a matchup of the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Indiana Pacers. Should be a fun basketball game. Cleveland comes into this 32-22. They're 10-16 on the road, though. Indiana's 17-11 at home. They've been a good road team. But I like the total on this. I'm going over 225. That's -110 at DraftKings. On the season, Cleveland is 25-29 to the over. So they're an under team. They have the best defense in the league. And the Pacers are a bit of an under team as well. So you might ask, well, why do I like this game to go over? Chris LeVert's not expected to play for Cleveland. I actually think that's going to be not a detriment to Cleveland scoring. I think it's going to be an improvement for Indiana to score. So I like that there. The over is 4-0 in the Pacers' last 4 versus a team with a winning record. And over is 4-0 the last 4 times that these teams have met. And again, you look at these under teams, and I stress this. Oh, they've gone under. Yeah, that's the trend. But what was the number? Again, this game is at 225. Let's look at Cleveland's last few games. 222.5, they went over. 211, they did go under. I think you just heard Poppy cry for a bit there. I apologize about that. 214 went over. 216 went over. 221 went over. And then you look at the Pacers. They're going under, but their games are set at like 245, 240, 242.5. So I think that this game is going to go under. I do think there's going to be scoring. Last 2 times these teams played, it was a 135-126 win for Indiana. That was in December. They also played again in December. It was a 118-112 win for Cleveland. That number went over as well. Like I said, the last 4 times the number has gone over, and it's gone over by 35, 7.5, 28.5, and 17. It's been blowing over. So even though the trends say these might be 2 under teams, we've got a Sunday 5 o'clock tip-off. I think we're going to see a bunch of scoring, so I'm going to take the over there. 3 more basketball games, 3 more NBA games. There's also some college hoops today, which we might get to, but let's run back down this card. I like the Memphis Grizzlies -4.5, -105 at BetMGM. I like the Philadelphia 76ers -6 for -110 at FanDuel, and I like the Cleveland Cavaliers and Indiana Pacers to go over 225. That was -110 at DraftKings. As always, feel free to drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Conium for more picks and props throughout the day. Tyler Conium at TikTok, and Squeeze Bets on Instagram for just the picks portion. Audio versions available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let's have a Sunday. Let's hope the Pro Bowl is fun. Let's talk sports.